Okay, hello folks. This hangout on air is live, and Jean-Pierre just joined. Not late. Not late. Hello, Jean. All right. Eric, you check for echo.
I will test for echo.
Test for echo, like from 20 years ago. Here's Beck start.
Let me get my beer, guys. Hold on.
I'm glad I found it in my town. I was afraid I couldn't, but then you obviously found it.
We're looking at. I'm trying to block the glare from outside. We're looking at Beck's Dark tonight. Now, I noticed the Beck's website is mainly just focusing on this program they have, something where they support artists. I know Pabst Brewing started that around, going on 20 years ago, like in 2000, when I first started getting on their website. They had this program where they would give money to artists to do artwork.
Fun.
Or you could just submit your art. Oh, you hear that echo? You could submit your art, and they would put it on their cans or bottles or whatever, and maybe somebody would recognize you. So maybe it didn't cost them a whole lot. But that kind of got the hipster people behind them. And then, so then a lot of other companies got into that, and Beck's does that. So Beck's is from Bremen, Germany, or at least it originated there. The ones we get are from the United States of America.
Yeah, get your class action lawsuit on, right?
From the last 4 years. I'm sorry, the last 4 years. It's been made in America. This company was founded in Bremen, which is a northern German city. I believe that was in 1873, if I remember right. It does have the date, guys, on the back of the bottle. 144th day of 2016. It's 5% alcohol. Who's never had it before?
I just bought this and I never had it.
I never had it before until last night. I had one.
Oh, Jean?
I've had it before. And it was good.
Honestly,
and I see the date on this too.
Yeah.
So.
I've never seen this beer until 3 days ago.
In America, we get the Becks, of course, cans and bottles. We get. Y'all hear that?
I don't.
Okay, so
I don't either.
Okay, so I'm just getting it on my end. So that's, okay, that means it's probably not being picked up on the broadcast.
I wouldn't think so.
We get the cans and bottles. We get Beck's Light. We get Beck's Oktoberfest. Should be coming out. And we get the Beck's Dark. And I believe
the non-alcoholic version.
Yeah, I was thinking of that earlier.
You can't get the Beck Sophie or whatever it is. You can't get that.
Sapphire. I don't think they make
Sapphire.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry. And Beck's Sapphire. I saw that in Florida.
Okay.
About 3 days ago at ABC Liquor. Yep, Beck's.
I haven't seen it recently in my area.
Yeah, I remember thinking pretty highly of that beer.
We can get it. That's their malt liquor. Now, if you look on the Beck's Germany website, which I didn't get onto, they have almost a totally different lineup than here. They don't. I don't. To my knowledge, they don't get Beck's Dark. I think Beck's Dark, I believe it was introduced in 19.
I have it up on my screen from Anhueser-Busch. Introduced in 1977 in Bremen, Germany.
Yeah, that's right.
That's from the Anhueser-Busch website.
Yeah.
Fact sheet.
And it was, I think, for export only.
No, it's Poly Girl.
Yeah, the people in Germany don't get it. Maybe that Dunkel beer is not that popular over there. Beck's was a big German company, and it got bought out by InBev, like so many others. And you guys know that a big controversy started with the fact that they started making it in America, and I want to talk about that later on. Yeah. But tonight we have, from the South, myself and Jean-Pierre, and from the North, we have John and Eric. What are you saying sorry for?
Because Gene put on that first beer of the day.
Oh,
yeah. First beer of the day, yeah.
It's my second beer of the day. Actually, I drank a beer that I was talking to John about. I drank one of those Trouble Brewing Walmart craft beers, craft style beers.
I may get that sometime this weekend and try it out, because I've been seeing it all the time, and whoever reviewed it, I said, just let me get a good feeling of this beer before I try it myself. You know.
I drank the Amber Ale. I drank all of them. They're all, well, the Amber Ale is the best one, I think. The Belgian Ale is pretty good. The Belgian style wheat beer. They're trying to compete with Shock Top and
the Cataway IPA.
The Cat's Away IPA was, it was more like a pale ale, honestly. It was similar to Longhammer, you know, not real hoppy. If you're a hophead, you're going to hate it. Their pale ale was just like a regular old, more like a blonde ale. But they all tasted good. Maybe they didn't quite fit the style, but for $12.50 a 12-pack, I mean, come on.
This beer does smell very good.
All right, well, we better get back to this beer. They give a lineup on Tap Into Your Beer. And Eric, so we got Eric and John up north, and myself and John in south. None of the Westerners joined us today. It's 5% alcohol, which is good for me. I like the 5%. 142 calories, not bad. And the ingredients: water, barley malt, malt extract, hops, and yeast. And it's in a green bottle. Oh well. I made sure I pulled one from back of the shelf.
There's no Beck's beer that I've seen that's in cans. Everything, well, take that back. Maybe back in the day I did see the Beck's, you know, lager in a can. I might have probably back home, or maybe might have been on a cruise ship heading towards Mexico. But most all the Beck's beers comes in bottles.
Some convenience stores sell it in the 24-ounce cans.
Okay.
Yeah. Not too many, but some do. I bought it. I did a video. I have a can in. I can go get it and show it to you in a few minutes. Look at that thick beige head.
It smells. I might be jumping the gun on the smell here, but it definitely looks. It's definitely got that dark copper, I guess like a chestnut color, I would say.
Yeah, good.
And I'm getting a lot of carbonation out of this. Now I had a bigger head, but I did try to pour more of the contents of the beer in, so it shrunk the head a little bit, and it's that cream tan colored kind of head. So that's what I'm getting. It's pretty opaque and filtered, so it's not too. I don't notice that it's cloudy at all.
Yeah, and it's creamy kind of.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
When I was in Florida, I picked up a lot of stuff, all kind of stuff. I mean, it's just incredible. But you notice I did pick up that Schlitz VSL.
Good review, by the way, Jay, on that.
You can see I was kind of chilled out. I was laying in the bed when I started. I just took a shower and I was laying down. I was like, oh well, heck, I'll do the video. Who cares? But it was. I tell you what, after I drank that whole thing, I was fast asleep.
I kind of heard a cooler in the background, you know.
I wanted to make sure everybody could hear that ice.
Yeah.
I made sure I shook it good in that ice. I had it buried down in that ice. And when you're drinking a 8.5% Imperial lager, lager, you want them dead cold. But it was a good nightcap. Now, this Beck's in my town was $7.99 for the six-pack. What does it cost?
Mine was $9.29 in southern Massachusetts.
I wouldn't have been on this review tonight.
I think by the time mine was done with taxes, it was like 10 and some change.
That's an atrocity.
I just bought the 2 bottles, and it was like $1.75 at the Greer's Cash Saver. So that's.
I need to move out of Indiana because beer must be awful freaking high here in Indiana.
Yep, and in Mass.
He had to pay 10% service handling fee. Okay, plus tax, right, John?
Yeah.
Right. Or if you go to the Pay for More store.
Yeah, we have a place here called Food for Less. I call it Food for Even. I like the foiled neck. It's attractive.
They don't put it around the cap this time like in some other.
It kind of reminds you of the old Michelob bottles back in the day.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Or Lowenbrown.
But they're not hourglass shaped. Okay, y'all start talking about the aroma. I'm gonna go get that can to show those guys.
I'm noticing like what John said on our little group chat.
I was thinking that as soon as he said that. I was sitting there thinking that when I took a smell, I thought, man, that smells like that. And then I seen him
definitely has the coffee scent, and yeah, John, I do agree with that. John, I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I'm getting a lot of. I'm actually getting. Maybe it's like a semi-sweet baker's kind of chocolate. Maybe it's like a milk type chocolate.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of roastiness and Some kind of nuttiness. I can't particularly pick up what kind of nuttiness, but in general, coffee, chocolate, and dark roasted malts is
Yeah,
definitely what I'm getting.
gonna say, I think they must roast with the big roastiness in this, big time.
Here's the can.
Well, that's cool.
Awesome.
Nice looking can.
Yeah, bought it right here.
Is that a bigger can than a 12 ounce? What I'm saying is that's a 24 ounce can, right?
Actually, it's 25 ounces.
25 ounces. Is that the same size as a regular can, just taller, or is it a little bit bigger around?
Yeah, Anheuser-Busch has all those bonus cans.
Yeah.
25 extra ounces, just like the natural ice.
Yeah.
I bought 2 cans, 2 for $3, by the way. But
Awesome.
but I digress. But that's a good description of the aroma, Eric. How about you, Jean?
Yeah, like I said, it's that scent of coffee, that scent maybe, you know, a little bit of, not much, but just maybe a little, you know, sort of, you know, sugar scent to this.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, but just a little bit of it in there. You know, and then that's what I'm getting mostly.
No adjuncts in this.
Mostly coffee.
Mostly coffee.
None.
Oh, let me say this: the
But
hotel
the-
I stayed
but-
at in
Go ahead, Jay.
the motel I stayed at in Florida City had the best coffee I had ever drank.
Wow.
Had ever drunk at any motel or hotel in my life. I'm telling you, there's a lot of other things I could complain about with that location, but the coffee, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I can't believe it. It was something. Anyway, okay, back to Jean. Sorry, I just had to mention that.
That's fine. Like I said, that's what I'm getting mostly is coffee, a little sugar, but not much. But it's quite, you know, pleasant to me.
Yeah. John, Sharon.
You know, I agree with what them guys say. I get the coffee in it. I get a little bit of the chocolate, the big roast in it. I'm sure that's the malt. But there's one thing I'm not picking up on this beer that I'm really excited about. It's the green bottle smell.
No.
Yes.
No skunk.
I don't get a skunk smell on it because I'm like you. Mine's a 144th day of 16. But, I mean, to me, this is a tremendous smelling beer, but you don't get that green bottle smell out of the aroma of it. That's why.
Is it that way with all green bottles, or I mean, because I mean, I remember when we did the review of Carlsberg, there was a little bit of it, and or Carlsberg Elephant, and it was a little. Or my beer, I know, one of them had a little skunk in it.
All right, look.
Hmm.
The clear bottles aren't going to protect at all from the sunlight or those fluorescent lights. Forget it. But doesn't matter. The stores will have it sitting right out there in the light.
Yeah.
The green bottles will help. But in 1911 or 1912, I can never remember. Doesn't matter. Schlitz. Yep, that's right. They invented the brown bottle. Well, I mean, I'm sure they had brown bottles before, but they got the idea to use brown bottles for beer, and they found that the light couldn't penetrate it, and it wouldn't get skunked. And you look at the old ads from back in 1912, and they're all saying, "Oh, we have brown bottles now. It's not going to get skunked."
Bye, John.
And the bottles were thicker back then. They're about twice as thick as what they are now.
Nice.
Kill somebody if you hit them in the head with them.
Probably.
All right, we lost John due to technical difficulties, folks.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yep.
We hope. Now, I think the aroma is the same way you're getting, and I think that chocolate aroma is coming from. I bet you they're using chocolate malt.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think they're using chocolate barley malt?
Something like that. They have to be.
Okay. Nobody talked about any kind of grassy hop aroma.
I was kind of gonna mention that, but I didn't really think it was all that prominent. There's a tiny itty bitty trace of that noble hop they're using, but it's so faint I didn't even think about mentioning it because it's so in the background. But it is noticeable if you dig deep into it.
Yeah. Okay, now
They're using noble hops. That's what I'm thinking they're using.
probably so. Now we're going to the taste. I haven't had this in so long. Okay, I mean, I bet I first had it in 1996. Okay, cheers, pros, salud.
I am drinking this I am drinking this Beck's Dark in a new glass I got in an antique store at in Rhode Island. It's a Narragansett-Bach Beer Festival second annual on April 1972 glass. I thought that was pretty cool.
That's
And
very
it tells you all about Bach beer, and I can read that later. But you know what I'm noticing in the beer's flavor is not as much chocolate as what I got in the nose. I do get some of that lightly roasted coffee notes. I think the coffee is pretty a light roast in the flavor. There's definitely that darker barley malt flavor to me. It has more of the noble hop taste, I think, than in the nose. I'm actually getting a touch, I don't know if it's skunk or not, but I'm getting a touch of something that reminds me of skunk, although it's not slimy or nasty in any way, shape, or form. And the head is just a little bit creamy, but I think it's on the light side of medium, but it's definitely a full flavored beer, if you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Now, up north, over to Indiana, more in the western part of the north. Dark beer is healthy for you. That's what Jean-Pierre, MD, is
It's
telling
like dark chocolate, right?
Yes.
Who are we going to? Me?
Yeah, Indiana.
Okay. I mean, I agree with what Eric said. You know, it's just the taste of it is great. I mean, you still get that roasty, the chocolate. I mean, everything that he said, but you still don't get that green bottle taste out of it, and that's what I really, really enjoy about this. There's no skunk flavor in the taste of it.
Well, usually that's in their nose, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to give you a quick assessment.
I mean, you could taste. You know, I think a lot of times in these green bottles, you could taste the skunkiness in it too, but with these, you can't.
I'm picking up. Somebody got mad with Michelle Stitches last week saying that it smelled like beer, what we were drinking. I said, I like her when she comes on the show. He was saying, get her off the show. I don't like when she's on there. I said, well, everybody ain't going to like everybody, you know, but
Watch the show if you don't like it. No, watch the show. Give us some ratings.
and actually he said he didn't finish watching it. But
Wow, really?
I think she was just kidding about when she said it smelled like beer. You know, she was just joking around. But I think this has a good, strong, malty flavor. And the reason I brought her up because I'm about to say it tastes kind of like a beer flavor. Now, people are going to say, cutting off the video. But what I mean is a standard beer flavor. Like, you know, if you drink a lager beer, what it's going to taste like. It has that little touch of sourness, that little bite to it from the hops,
Yeah.
that little grain. Okay, so that's not really a mysterious thing. Now, you might be watching this video and you might say, I've never had a beer in my life. I started watching this tonight to see what it's about. Well, if that's the case, you start drinking different ones, and you'll probably see what I'm talking about. But
And we welcome you.
we welcome you. It's got breadiness. I know I say that all the time. Like brown bread crust, some sweetness, sweet malt. It's got some bitterness, but it's so mild. I bet you the IBUs are no higher than, what, 15 or 17?
Maybe.
It's balanced. This beer is balanced. It's roasted, okay, but it's not charred. It's not burnt. I drank that Edmund Fitzgerald yesterday, and right when I was finishing it, I was thinking, I don't know. I'm picking up some burnt, and I don't like that flavor. I mean, I can go burn stuff in the kitchen if I want to drink burnt.
Well, roasted malt. Maybe John can confirm that. I think because of home brewing or whatever it is. But I think roasted malt is definitely going to give you a different flavor than a toasted malt kind of flavor. I would say that this beer is more on the toasted side of its malt flavor.
Yeah, that's why you're getting all that. You know, I think you're getting a whole different aroma, and he is right. You're getting a different aroma off the two different malts. So.
And maybe the toasted part of it's giving me a little bit of a nuttiness, but I'll let Jay continue on.
Yeah, and I'm really starting to turn against that flavor of that acrid char. I pick up with beers like...
You mean like an ashy flavor?
Yeah, right. I don't want to drink a beer that tastes like you burnt marshmallows and it just tastes like carbon. It's like, no. And people say, yeah, but that's 100 out of 100 beer. Whatever the case, If it tastes like some old burnt crust, I don't want to drink it. Now, I've got 2 more Edmund Fitzgerald in the fridge, maybe 3 more. I'm going to drink them, and I'm not going to go into it with some bad attitude. I'm just telling you what I'm reporting what I encountered, okay? Now, this beer has a really nice flavor. Okay, Jean, what do you think about the taste? And then we'll talk about the body and the finish, and then would we buy it again? Now, when we say about buying again, let's just assume that everybody could get a deal like me, $7.99. $7.99 a 6-pack.
Good, because my price is swaying my opinion.
Not these ridiculous prices that y'all quoted.
$9.29 a 6-pack.
But
mine's 10 change, so.
Let's just assume you could go to Mathern's and get it for $7.99 a 6-pack, okay? Jean, what do you think about the flavor?
The flavor is good. I think it's a very enjoyable dark beer, and I think for some people who may drink this, who are probably not, beer for, I hate to use this word, beer for dummies 101, but they would probably think, oh, this is a nice dark beer. This is like Guinness, and I would have to say, well, it's not, but they will look at it because of the look of the beer. But it's very enjoyable, very refreshing, very, and again, like I said, maybe that little hint of coffee notes on it might turn some people off, but overall, it's a pretty decent brew.
Yeah, look at the lacing on it. It didn't just die away with no residual.
There he goes.
Now,
Eric jumped off.
All these people are quitting my hangout. All right.
I'm going through some technical stuff too in my area.
Hey, remember, we are the island of misfit people.
Right.
The island of misfit toys. The island of misfit toys, according to Lee Russell. Now, a former reviewer.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not. I like to watch his.
Yeah, I didn't know he was former.
Yeah, you didn't see he retired. Now, anyway.
I'll look at that later.
But he does he still does movie reviews and he does whiskey, but I don't drink whiskey yet. I told you it'd be about 12 years before I look at that. Now.
See in 12.
I gotta swear off hard liquor, folks. I really do. Oh boy.
Oh, I know.
I keep saying I'm gonna stop, but I keep going back to that stuff, and I say no more hard liquor.
If it's a problem, then it's a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
So I know a guy I used to work with, and he died Sunday.
Ooh.
And he couldn't get off the hard liquor, but he was out of control, drinking a fifth of Crown. Not funny, drinking a fifth of oil every day.
That's bad.
No, it's just like when you go to these parties, you say, all right, there's a friend of ours.
49 years old. What now?
Yeah, there's a friend of ours, me and my lady, a friend of ours. We go, we know him. He drinks pretty much under the table. He'll drink. I mean, he'll drink. And me, I'll have whatever that's there. We'll bring something, but I'll have my a Bud Light or whatever, a Michelob Ultra. I'm just trying to take it easy because I have to drive home.
Yeah, right.
Trying to be relaxed and be cool.
Yep.
And he'll say, hey, Jane, you want to get a shot with me? I said, I don't want to be rude. I say, all right, yeah, sure. Well, all right, we'll have some liquor. Yeah, okay. And then I end up the next morning like, oh, God, why did I just say no?
Yeah.
It's like Pinocchio, the lost boy said, come on, it's all right.
Yeah. He knows.
I quit doing that stuff a long time ago.
And Jiminy Cricket saying, don't do it, don't do it. Now, the last part is the body and the finish. Well, to me, it has a clean finish and it has a nice body, and I like it, okay? But we'll get to the would you buy it again in a minute. Okay, so Eric, and then John, and then Jean.
I'm going to say let your conscience be your guide at the party, Jean. But anyways, I would say...
Gotta have a well-formed conscience.
Yeah. Like I said in the taste, I kind of jumped the gun there. Like I said in the taste, I say it's on the light side of medium, but it's definitely, to me, in the medium-bodied range. It's pretty crisp. I'm understanding why you might say it has a little bit of a souring note. I think that's just the German style of a Pilsner there, speaking to me. But I would still say, even though it's got some of that sour, I would still say it's a clean finishing beer, and it's very, very, very refreshing. And this would be a nice beer, even at 5%. I think it would be a nice beer at any time of the day that you would like to have a beer. I think it's refreshing and quenching enough in the the hot heat of summer or even late spring.
Yeah. John, and then Jean.
Yeah, I put it as a medium-bodied beer. It's crisp, it's clean, it's refreshing, it's an enjoyable beer, and I think it could be a sessionable beer.
Definitely.
And I really hate to use this term, and I know I've used it a few times before. I think it would be a good introductory beer to people that
It would
want
be good, yeah.
beers.
Hopefully the price that we both pay doesn't scare people away from trying it.
But you know, when I went into the package store and I bought this beer that had 2 6-packs left, and the lady told me it was a big seller in there. I thought it's kind of a little overpriced for what it was, you know, but I mean, I think it was 10 and some change, but she said it's a big selling beer here. And
They sell a lot of it at Mathern's, I'll tell you that.
Awesome.
and I was really surprised when she said that. But she said they sell a lot of Beck's beer, not just this one, but all of them. So
Yeah.
I've never seen the Beck's Light. They don't sell Beck's Light there, so.
And Heineken Dark. Yeah, I was thinking about examining Heineken Dark.
I
Honestly,
like that beer too.
maybe we could shuffle the schedule and do that 2 weeks from now because if we're doing Dunkles, why not, right? Okay, Jean, yeah, what do you think about the body and the finish? And then we'll talk about a couple of more topics.
The finish, like I said, the body is, again, most dark beers or this style tends to range, would you say, ABV maybe 6 or 7%. For 5%, this is a good introductory, as John Sharon said.
No, because I think a lot of these dark lagers will be even down to 4.3%. Actually.
Really? Okay. But if you just all you've had your entire life has been Bud Light, Budweiser, and Miller, whatever, you're looking for something like darker or a Dunkel, whatever style, this would be a good introduction. It's very clean, very well done, enjoyable, just a perfect beer.
Okay.
Maybe that's a good place to start. Would you buy this beer again, John?
Yeah. I mean, I've had it before. I did a review of this. I thought it was really good. I probably would buy it again. Yeah.
Well, I certainly would buy it again, especially $7.99 a 6-pack. Now, let's say that Eric and John, Zone 1, could get it for that price. Would you buy it again?
If I could get it for that price, I would buy it on occasion because I think it's a good beer. But what I paid for it is, I think I paid more than Eric did, and it was within a few nickels and dimes. But
basically,
I mean, I think I'm going to have to bypass this beer just because of the expense of it. I mean, if it was what you and Jean paid, I would definitely look at it or pick up a couple singles. I've never seen it single. I've only seen it one place here in the whole county I live in. So,
Yeah.
Price point. If it was something where somebody says we're going to have a big Beck's tasting, I would probably take it to them. But other than that, probably not.
Not for that sky-high price.
Not for that price. There's a whole lot better beers I could buy than that one.
But for $7.99 a 6-pack, you would get it.
I'd probably consider buying it again. Yeah, but when I can pick up 8 Colt 45s in 16-ounce bottles or 16-ounce cans, I'm going to pick that up over this.
Yep.
Well, we're always jumping around anyway, so it's not. People ask me every day, "What's your favorite beer?" I say I don't really have one. I'm always jumping from brand to brand, and so I've done that for 20 years now. Back in the '90s, if you came over here, you'd probably see Schaefer in the fridge.
Sweet.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
We only
I'm
get.
not saying it was my favorite, but it was $7.98 a 24-pack.
We only get Schaefer beer. We get the original Schaefer beer, and we only get the original Schaefer beer in my neck of the woods in 40-ounce bottles, which is crazy.
We only get Schaefer Light here, and we only get it in 12-ounce cans, in 12 packs and 24 packs.
And that's crazy because the New England Patriots, I used to play at a place before they went to Foxborough Stadium that then became Gillette Stadium. They used to play at Schaefer Stadium.
Yeah, but that's what happens when companies go out of business.
For
Exactly.
sure.
Yep, you know it.
Were they using the same stadium as Boston College or whatever?
Well, they used to. Well, they originally started playing at the Harvard University Stadium
Oh, okay.
back in the '60s. But as far as if I would buy this beer again at a reasonable price, I would buy this every now and then. I think it's a really good example of a Munich dark lager, and one that I think, as we have all said at one point in this examination, that's probably going to be very accessible. I mean, in palate and style and in drinkability and in its flavor, it'll be accessible to a wide variety of audiences. It's not too heavy. It's not too light, though. It's got a good amount of body, and it's a really good flavor. I'm looking at the store's website that I bought the Beck Stark at. It's just a little cheaper than a 6-pack of the Heineken Dark. Now, the Heineken Dark, I can get it for $9.69, and I actually haven't had that in maybe almost a year at this point. But I remember having a better experience with the Heineken Dark, which is why I say maybe we should look at that beer. But, you know, I think, you know, nickels and dimes between the two beers. If you like the brand Beck's, try Beck's Dark. If you're a big Heineken guy, they got you down too. So there's a dark beer from Germany for everybody's taste, I think.
Yes, I think I can get Heineken Dark for $7.99 here too.
Yeah.
Oh well, not here. They don't sell it in this town because
$8.99.
people would not buy it here. They sold it here.
Heineken Dark.
But at least, I mean, I'm not the guy that totally got into the Beck's lawsuit. I didn't buy into that whole thing. But at least Heineken is actually brewed in the Netherlands, where you're paying that premium price for it, that exported price for it. But I'm not. I think that people that look at this lawsuit against Beck's that say, well, we need to get our money back because we're paying a premium price for an exported beer where it's only brewed in the United States. Well, it does say on the bottle, right here on the bottle, product of the USA. Never said it was brewed in Germany.
But it's bottled under the Germany purity laws, correct?
Correct.
Right. Now here's the story. Here's that last.
Let's
one
go
of the
into
last
it.
topics. Man, when this started brewing it in the United States 4 years ago, people were really angry and saying all kind of stuff. And people were asking me, don't you think it's a lot worse now, Beck's? And I couldn't do a side-by-side because when they started having the American beers, then you couldn't get the Europeans. So I just went by recollection, and I said, I honestly do not detect any flavor differences. It seems to me that Anhueser-Busch just brewed it perfectly according to what the German company said to do. Now, that's just the honest. I never thought Beck's was any kind of great beer anyway back when it was German. I mean, I liked it, but I never thought it was like, oh, the greatest thing. But I used to drink it, you know, occasionally, and I always preferred Beck's Dark, and I preferred Beck's Oktoberfest more than that.
Do you think that this beer would taste any different, you know, if it was brewed at the Bremen Brewery with their water versus with the St. Louis Brewery water?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I drank the Beck's Dark when it used to come from Germany, and I didn't notice that it tasted any different now.
Okay.
Hang on just a second.
Honestly, if it did taste different, I would tell you it tastes different.
Yep.
Let me get on my bank account. Let me see when I say this, because every time I say something about this, they're going to put $10 in my checking account.
Oh, right. Because you
But anyways,
Say it 1,000 times.
I will guarantee you they probably got the original recipe from it. They probably got the yeast strain from this beer from them. They probably got it down to a science. They're not going to just come out here and slam dunk some and say this is it. They're, you know, I think, you know, I know Anheuser-Busch well enough to think that they're going to have a lot of quality checks. They're going to have a lot of people tasting it. And they're going to compare this to what the other was, and they're going to say whether this is hit or miss, or we're going to go with this, or we're not going to go with this. So I'm sure that they got the strands, they got the recipe, they got the formulas. They know what they're doing, or they wouldn't be in business since
1876.
Yep.
Long time.
Hey, look, my grandpa called me today, by the way. He's 96 years old. But he wanted to know how the Florida trip went. But I remember back 20 years ago, over 20 years ago, he was always complaining and ranting and raving with Harry. He was always complaining about Lowenbrow. Oh, they ruined it. They ruined it because when I started drinking beer, Lowenbrau was American-made by Miller. Yeah,
Yep.
Lowenbrau and Lowenbrau Dark.
Right.
Okay, so to me it was good, and my grandpa was like, it's not any good. He said it used to be really good when it came from Germany. He said Miller ruined it, and so I said, well, then finally around 1998 that disappeared. So I finally tried the actual German-brewed Lowenbrau. I bought some in Manhattan. Oh, believe me, my grandpa was right. It was way better. But you see, Miller changed the recipe. They started making it as an adjunct lager. It wasn't Reinheitsgebot, the German purity law. So, of course, my grandpa was angry. He drank the stuff in Germany, and he drank the German import, and then he was saying, what are they trying to pull? I'm not falling for this. Okay, yeah, we could talk about New Coke later. I got some theories
Yes.
that I didn't invent, but I think the theory that I read is good about that. But anyway, now.
That Crystal Pepsi is disgusting. I'm sorry. I don't care how they tried to change it. I took a swallowed.
Yeah, that was a
No,
thing
thank
that
you.
got discontinued in 1994 originally.
Yeah, I don't mess with all that soft drink stuff anymore. But
I don't either.
here's the thing about the contract brew or the overseas brewing. This is not new. Guinness, right? You ever heard of Guinness?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I have.
Guinness Stout has been brewed under contract with other countries or companies around the world for like 200 years. I never heard anybody complaining about, oh, they ruined Guinness since they started brewing it in England. They ruined Guinness since they started brewing it in Nigeria. They ruined Guinness ever since they started brewing it in Jamaica. I never hear this because they've got, same thing with Foster's. They've got these quality controls, and they're going to tell the company in Malaysia that gets the contract, don't screw it up. We're going to send people to check on it from time to time. And plus, we have customers. Now, it is true that there are differences in the Guinnesses around the world, but they're all good. So
Some of that's actually in the brewing process for their different countries too.
yeah, like in Nigeria, they use sorghum, and I think they use corn adjunct. But it tastes good. It's like good. So if you want to do that, if you want to farm it out. If you want to farm out your beer, but okay, Budweiser started being brewed in Canada in 1980, because they never even got Budweiser in Canada until 1980. But they didn't import it; they brewed it there. I never heard anybody complaining, oh, Budweiser. I went to Canada. I drank some Budweiser in Vancouver. It was terrible. I never heard anybody say that. Okay, they still brew Budweiser in Canada. So that, my opinion, this is my rant, okay? My opinion is that it's not going to necessarily ruin the beer if you just do it right. And these master brewers, the good companies, know what they're doing. I drank the Canadian Guinness. I compared it to the Irish in a blind taste test, and what did I do? I picked the Canadian. I felt so embarrassed. Look at City Brewing. They're doing the Guinness Blonde American.
Blonde, right.
They're doing a great job. So, can you screw it up? You sure can.
Anybody can.
But are you necessarily going to screw it up just because you farm it out? No, that's my point. No, you're not. And I don't think Beck screwed it up. I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think they screwed it up at all. That's all I got to say about it.
And also, I think is also when Guinness contract these beers to these breweries to make their beers for them, I'm sure they're telling them, listen, don't F this thing up or else we're going to go someplace else. And I think for the breweries who are making their stuff, and it's all about, hey, we got some work in, we got some stuff coming in. We're making our stuff to some of these grocery stores that is universally trash, but we're brewing the stuff
Right.
and stuff, and that we got to keep it going because we need it's a good reputation for the company.
Yeah.
It's work, and
But I mean,
They don't want to lose that contract.
right. Exactly.
you take these places like Anhueser-Busch,
I'm listening.
or InBev, or Guinness, or some of these other places. They're not going to go around the corner of this local Yoko mom and pop brewery. And I've had some good beers from the local mom and pop breweries. Everybody on the panel probably has too. but they're going to take these breweries that can produce the amount of beer that people want and want to buy, and at a quality and at a price and at a structure that they can compete with in the market field. You know,
who did Anheuser-Busch get together with in 1980 to do their beer for Canada? Labatt. Labatt's not some company that got started last week. Okay, so Anheuser-Busch knew that Labatt could mimic the Budweiser. I'm sure they didn't work on it over a weekend at a spaghetti restaurant.
Oof.
Sat down and developed a process and said, we want this Budweiser to taste exactly like the Budweiser in St. Louis, and it had better taste the same. And I'm sure Labatt said,
or else.
Yeah, or else you don't get the contract, and that is money. Labatt said, we don't want to turn down this money. So Labatt was so successful they got bought out by Anheuser-Busch. But anyway,
but you know, it's and I go back on this, not trying to really change the subject a whole lot, but on this old tankard ale, because when I seen you in New Orleans, you give me an old tankard ale.
Yeah. From
down there, and finally we got it up here in Indiana, and I bought a 4-pack of it, give a whale price for it. But you know, I kind of sit down, and I wish I'd done a review on it, but I didn't. But you know, I mean, I kind of wish that I would have took notes instead of just mental notes. But there was 2 different numbers on the back of it. I mean, there were 2 different areas, and you cannot tell the difference between the two. So, and that's a contract beer, and you know they've done a good job on it.
Yeah, that is true. They did a fine job with it. I think it's a successful product. Now, a few more comments from y'all, and then I want to show you something. Anybody got anything? Last things?
Yeah, like I said in our group chat, it's not like they're brewing Beck's beer or Guinness at Minhas, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
It's not like they're taking a brewery that knows how to make high gravity malt liquors and Four Loko and trying to say, well, we can mimic a German lager. At least you got to specialize in something that's slightly similar or easy enough to do that the companies can produce. And not just say, well, we make all the malt alternatives. We might as well contract brew for Beck's. Yeah, that doesn't sound like that's the best use of their resources.
Hey, Minhas can do good work. They do the Dixie beers for Dixie Brewing Company when they lost their brewery in Hurricane Katrina. And those Dixie beers are good. I'm telling you what, you drink a Dixie beer from Minhas, it tastes just like the one that was coming out of New Orleans. They even have the weird, funky, something wrong with it taste nailed down.
Huh.
Because everybody used to complain about Dixie beer.
Almost like Schlitz.
From New Orleans, you know, like, that stuff, it tastes like, I said, that's just the grime. Gotta remember, they haven't cleaned the brewery since 1907 when it was built. Don't forget. So it had some sort of like antique flavors, but somehow Minhas got that very, very close to what was coming from Dixie. But I used to like Dixie beer. Don't get me wrong. I drank it on draft at the brewery a month before Katrina hit. Oh, it was so good. Now, all right. Here's one more thing I have to show you. You talk about natural ice. Maybe we could do a revisit exam one night. I don't know if you'd be.
I'm down with that. I'm down with that.
Hey guys.
Because we got no more Natty Daddy in our area. That thing is gone off the shelves.
Oh no.
It's 6%. Yeah.
I'll still
Natty
see.
Daddy's.
Okay, here's what I bought in Florida now. You see these everywhere.
Yeah, we get that around here.
25-ounce cans. You get 1 extra ounce. Okay, it was 2 for $3. Very nice. I mean, I'm a big natural ice fan, as you know. But then I was in Perry, Florida, on U.S. Highway 27, so I had to get gas, and I got ripped off because I didn't realize that the price they were quoting was the cash price. But anyway, because I use a MasterCard. But all right, no, different story. I go in there to use the bathroom and all. And I look in the cooler, because you know if I go in a place, I'm going to look in the beer cooler. Just like you 3 guys, you're going to look in every beer cooler, right?
Yep.
Sure, I go in, yeah.
Pretty much.
That's a sickness. Now,
Down with the sickness.
but a good sickness. So I
Very
go in
good
there,
sickness,
and I said, oh, no. I looked in that cooler. I said, "Oh no,
Schlitzmullet.
you know I'm about to pull my wallet out."
Uh-oh. We get that stuff everywhere.
Bottles.
Bottles of what? I can't see it. My screen went.
Oh, it's a glass bottle of Natty Ice.
I've never.
Oh, okay.
I've never
I haven't
it.
seen bottles of natural ice in years.
You better check the date on the back of that.
Well, it's from 2016. It's from 2016. Now look, I was in Florida City. I was in Key West, Florida City, Homestead, Miami, St. Petersburg, and I was shopping, and I looked everywhere. Everybody had natural ice. Everybody had natural ice. Everybody. But it was all in cans, right? Tall cans, 12 packs, 6 packs, 24 packs. I said, dang, nobody's got glass bottles anymore. It's a shame, but the distributor told me here, he said no one would buy the glass bottles. We can't keep the cans on the shelf. We sell out all the time. But the glass bottles, they would go expired, and we had to throw them away. So when I went in this store and I saw the glass bottles, I said, well, this might be the last time in my life I ever see a glass bottle of Natty Ice. So I had to buy it, so don't hold that against me. I might have to do a video, Natty Ice glass bottles. Is this the last video made for Natty Ice glass bottles ever? Blah, blah, blah.
We had Natty Ice and bottles in this area, but those have also come and gone now, and all it is just a natural Natty Light in bottles, and Natty Ice mostly in cans.
See, you've got me probably going to spend about $20 in gas because I'm going to have to drive around about a 50-mile square radius, see if I can find a freaking bottle now. So thanks, Jay.
Well, I mean, don't blame me. Look.
Uh-oh.
Blame Anhueser-Busch, because I'm over here for the last 20 years doing my little collection. I had the 1996 bottle when it first came out. You know, when it first came out, I bought the glass bottle, and then when they came out with the redesign, I bought the other glass bottle around 1999, and then around 2008, they came out with a new modern bottle. Of course, I bought that. All of a sudden, I don't see the 12 packs of natural ice anywhere, glass bottles, and they're telling me, well, nobody bought them apparently, but me. So anyway, I finally got the big bottle. It's 32 ounce, no big deal. All right, any last comments? My last comment. I like the Beck's Dark. I'm looking forward to Warsteiner Dunkel, and then I've already put it on my little calendar book. The third week is going to be Heineken Dark. I'll have to go to New Orleans and get it.
Nice.
That's it. That's my last comment.
Warsteiner, whatever it is. Warsteiner what? Again, Dunkel?
Warsteiner Dunkel. I've got one in the fridge.
Hey, send a picture of that, will you?
Rouse's. I could probably get at Rouse's.
I'll start posting photos of that tomorrow.
All right.
I appreciate that.
A lot of Oktoberfest is already on the shelves, folks.
Yeah,
I guess you already seen that. Yeah.
I think it's too early to drink a Oktoberfest.
I agree.
Yep.
I can't drink it right now. It was so oppressively hot today. I was like, oh God. And I'm saying Oktoberfest, really?
Oh yeah.
Hell no.
July. Here it is. Warsteiner Dunkel.
It says Dunkel at the bottom.
Okay, I can get that here.
Yep.
Got a crown. It says roasted barley malt, product of Germany. This is really from Germany.
I think I can get that at Myers.
Yeah. So this will be interesting to look at. It's got best by date, best before December 16th. It's 4.8% alcohol.
Nice.
I have to change my event page, though, because I put 4.3. That was a screw-up. I'll go fix that in a little bit. All right, well.
How do you spell that? Hang on, spell that for me.
Warsteiner.
Yeah.
W-A-R.
W-A-R.
S-T-E-I-N.
S-T. No, I've not had this. So.
E-I-N. Ner. It's from Warstein, Germany. Warsteiner. Dunkel. Then.
All right.
Yeah, I've not had
We'll
it.
do the Bach beer. We'll do the Dunkel beer run for you all.
Yeah. I think there's a locator tool on their website, if I recall.
They got a pretty good website.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks, folks, for watching this video production. And y'all come on down to New Orleans and Mobile.
And
And
Boston,
Boston.
Massachusetts, or Providence, Rhode Island.
And Louisville.
In Louisville. I was getting to that. And John clicked off again on accident. All right, thanks, folks.